Attorney Rowena Guanzon po, ang inyong lingkod. Tapos ko lang po sa rally sa Luneta ng Iglesia ni Cristo.
Live and in person, Attorney Rowena Guanzon.
Tama ba ang mga ginagawa nila sa ating bayan ngayon? Hindi tama! Hindi tama! Hindi tama! Ang mga tao pobre ay nakapila para makasakay lamang ng jeep o bus. 5 oras hanggang makauwi. Ang mga buhaya ay nakahelikopter. Sasakay ka ng tricycle. Ang tricycle driver nagbabayad ng tax. Bibili ka ng grocery, may tax. Bibili ka ng gamot, may tax. Bat sila ng bat. Kaya isa dyan, tawagan nyo na talagang Batman.
At syempre, ang bombshell doon ay ang testimony ni Senator Amy Marcos na si Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. ay addict sa cocaine.
Noon, dahil may tatay pa kami, hindi ko pa siya responsibilidad. Noong tumatanda, ay mas naging nakakabahala. Batid ko na nagda-drug siya. Paghapon sila, lahat sila nagiinuman at gumagamit ng cocaine.
At ang kanyang asawa, ang ating First Lady,
Kinumbinsi ko pa si Bongbong. Pakasalan mo na si Lisa. Naisip ko noon, kapag nag-asawa siya, malalagay na sa tahimik at magkakaroon ng direksyon. Ang laki ng pagkakamali ko. Mas lumala ang kanyang pagkalulong sa droga. Dahil parehas pala silang mag-asawa.
gayon din at kanilang mga anak.
Nalaman kong pati ang mga anak niya ay nagdodroga na. Kinasusuklaman ko pa ang pag-alok ng mag-inang si Sandro ng droga ang aking mga anak at iba pang mga kamag-anak. Yan ang hindi ko na mapapalampas.
Whether you believe Senator Amy Marcos or not, I know her personally. She was my seatmate for 1 year in 2 subjects. And she's always been a jolly person, always helpful, even when they were in power in Malacanang. And she was like any ordinary student. For me, it takes a lot of Amy to say this in public, that her brother, the President Bongbong Marcos Jr., is addicted to cocaine since he was 12 years old.
Bata pa lamang kami ni Bongbong. Alam na ng buong pamilya ang problema sa kanya. Sa totoo lang, mababasa naman ng lahat ang mga testimonya ng aking ama patungkol sa kanyang ugali at gawain.
Some senators say this should have been a quiet thing. They should have talked about this. They should have settled this among themselves. But this is a matter of public interest. You cannot just say, oh, settle it among yourselves. It's unfair for some people to say, me is damaging the economy by saying this, or that it's so un-Filipino of me to stab her brother in the back.
Hindi natin ugali yung Pilipino na ganyan. Tayo mga Pilipino, ganun di ba? Kasi masyado tayong close-knit yung ating pamilya. So, pag may away mo kapatid, nire-resolve natin with one parang or within the family circle.
I'd say you're very un-Filipino if you do not love your country above all. I think Amy Marcos gave it enough time to bite her tongue, tiis-tiis yung ini-ignore siya ng brother niya, such that hindi na siya pumupunta sa Malacanang, at hindi na rin siya nag-attend ng mga family events pag nandun si Bongbong at ang ating First Lady, kahit andyan pa ang kanilang minamahal na ina. Well, let's backtrack. Before Bongbong Marcos was elected president, he was unemployed for 6 years because he lost to Leni Robredo for vice president. He was senator before that. But before that even, Bongbong Marcos had no visible and clear means of income. He's not a lawyer. He is not a head of some reputable business. He has no profession. And it was discovered that he lied, that he graduated from Princeton or Oxford.
Ano po yung ibinigay sa inyo? Certificate. na kayo ay
This is to certify that Ferdinand Marcos has completed a BA degree in social science.
Is it a BA degree, sir? Nakita ko doon ang sinulat ng Oxford is...
we can confirm that a Ferdinand Marcos matriculated at the University of Oxford in 1975 to read for a BA in philosophy and economics. According to our records, he did not complete his degree but was awarded a special diploma in social studies in 1978.
Nagpalit ako ng kurso. Sabi ko, politics, philosophy, and economics yan. Sabi ko, ang bagsak naman ito lagi, politics eh.
Pero is a special diploma and a degree the same?
Well, I don't, I suppose there are differences, but ang ending nun is that it is a bachelor's degree.
Still, he won the presidency. And so there we have it. What he didn't expect, what he didn't plan for, is that he was gonna be president of a poor country. A country that needed a president who was not only hardworking, even if not brilliant, but honest and dedicated. Because what the Filipinos feared the most was an economic disaster under Bongbong Marcos.
The Philippine government's total outstanding debt soars to a fresh all-time high.
The Philippine government's total outstanding debt soars to a fresh all-time high.
The Philippine government's debt balloons to a new record high in October.
But we waited to see if he was up for the job. After all, he wanted it. Ito na yung saying na, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. So when he became president, he was overwhelmed with the task because he's never really had to work very hard. Come on. When he was vice governor of Ilocos Norte and he did not pay his taxes, his income taxes, which is why, in my opinion, in his Comelec case for disqualification, I rendered my opinion, which of course my vote was not counted, that he was disqualified from running for office because he was convicted 2 times for a crime involving moral turpitude, which is not paying his income taxes while he was governor. Because, you know, during martial law, they could do anything they wanted. Nobody was looking, nobody could protest. People who went against Ferdinand Marcos ended up disappearing or dead. Now, my friends in the left still have very vivid memories of martial law.
Hindi maaalis sa akin yung ginawa sa akin. Dahil tao naman ako, bakit ganyan ang ginawa nila? Ihayop nga, dapat hindi gawin na ganun. Pero tao. Eh sabi ko nga, si Marcos hindi tao.
Oh, back to Bongbong.
Bata pa lamang kami ni Bongbong. Alam na ng buong pamilya ang problema sa kanya.
If he has been on cocaine since he was 12, and he became president at 64, you can imagine all these many, many years of cocaine addiction. And what does it do to you? I do not have any addiction, but I asked friends who were on cocaine, and they said that the thing with cocaine is that it gives you a dopamine hit. So you get a quick high, but it will only last you for 15 minutes. And because it's only going to be for 15 minutes, you want more and more and more. So they end up, you know, till morning. And coupled with alcohol, that's a deadly combination. Now, I don't know if you can flush that out of your system by going somewhere abroad and detoxifying your system. I don't know. But how many times in 3 years did we hear that somebody in Malacanang went abroad for whatever, or that took a break, or on leave from the public view? Because the difference between then and now is that he's president. He cannot hide from the people. He cannot hide from the cabinet. So he always has to, you know, perform. I met him when he was senator. He moved like Ferdinand Marcos. He tried hard to sound like Ferdinand Marcos. But when I saw him in the first 6 months in office as president, the difference was more than significant. Bongbong was stuttering.
Ako lang naman ang gumawa ng Well, Twitter is its own by themselves, is a private company.
He went like Amano.
Makita, maya yung ama kayo ay mag-alamano.
His jaw was loose. He was incoherent, even when he was in public. My apologies to those who have Tourette's syndrome. And there's the difference. That was only the first 6 months. Now we're on the third. And when he took over, our economy was not good, but it wasn't that bad. The second part of my talk, I'll show you how bad. Now, what's troubling about having a president who is on cocaine, which, by the way, will cost you 6,000 pesos per gram. So that's, I don't know how much that is per kilo, because they have to use so many grams a day and even up to morning without eating. When they stop snorting cocaine, I was told that these cocaine addicts binge. In the Philippines, cocaine addiction is prevalent. We just don't hear about it as much as shabu. Why? Because it's the rich people who are on cocaine. And, it's okay with them because it's part of their lifestyle. Lifestyle ka dyan. Kung cocaine addict ka, kahit gaano ka kagwapo, gaano ka katalino, gaano ka kayaman, wala ka. You cannot make good decisions. You cannot be in your right mind all waking hours. Ito pa, balita ko, yung mga nagko-cocaine na yan, nagwa-wife swapping yan eh. Tsaka girlfriend swapping. Ano? Di ba totoo? Kaya kayong nagko-cocaine kayo, yung mayayaman kayo, wag nyo nga kaming etchos-etchos. We're on cocaine because we're rich. Bull. You're on cocaine because you're addicts. You don't say, I only take it once a week. Etchos, once a week ka dyan. Pag nagko-cocaine ka, you cannot stop. That's what I was told by drug addicts and recovering cocaine addicts and recovered drug addicts. Abay, mas okay pa sa inyo ang mga mentally ill people eh. Because they have no choice. Kayo, may mga choice kayo. Tsaka ang yayaman nyo. Alam mo, noon, hindi ko napansin yan eh. Hindi ko masyadong pinag-uusapan yan. Until BBM ran for president. Natakot ako. Tinilabutan ako. Although nobody said it up front that they had personal knowledge. Until Senator Amy Marcos came out. It was common knowledge. And even his barkada, they all know. Ibang circles, in the circle nila ng mga rich people, it was common knowledge. Kinilabutan ako. We're gonna have a president who is a cocaine addict? Ninervyos ako. Pero sabi ko, baka naman. Because, you always hope for the country. Pero, what did Amy Marcos say? Now that he is severely addicted to cocaine, hindi na tama ang mga desisyon niya.
Yung bisyo niya na ang dahilan ng pagbaha ng korupsyon, kawalang direksyon, at maling-maling mga desisyon. Walang accountability, wala nang hustisya.
Sabi pa ni Amy, Bongbong, Bonget, ikaw pa ba yan?
Minsan, napapatanong ako sa sarili ko, ikaw pa ba yan? Si Bongbong ba talaga yung nakikita ko?
Because my friends, countrymen and countrywomen, what sets our president apart from all of us is the great responsibility to take care of all Filipinos, to make sure that our lives, especially the poor, are in good hands during calamities, floods, earthquakes, hunger. That's a major, major responsibility that Bongbong Marcos has never had before. He didn't have to choose his clothes, even. And that, I think, he could not bear. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. The way I saw him deteriorating in public appearances, wow. I said, this man is not gonna last another 3 years. Will the Filipinos last another 3 years with Bongbong Marcos? Let's talk about that later. His rumored drug addiction was very obvious, such that in the campaign for Leni Robredo, you will remember that I went up the stage in several rallies. I was the only party list nominee who was invited to go up the stage in Leni Robredo's rallies in Cabanaba, and where I said,
Hindi kami bangag! Hindi kami bangag! Hindi kami bangag! Hindi kami bangag!
hindi ako bangag. Si BBM bangag. Which is a, common term, di ba? We even use it as a joke. Ano ka ba? Bangag ka ba? Ba't hindi ka nagfo-focus dyan, di ba? Pero, kayong mga bumoto sa kanya, nagsisisi man kayo ngayon o hindi, alam nyo na. Saan tayo patutungo nito? Sa 3 taon pa na si Bongbong Marcos, ang ating presidente. Kaya pa ba niya? Praning na siya eh. Kaya pa ba niya? Kaya pa ba niya na half of the Filipinos, according to a survey, are suffering from hunger or have experienced hunger? Kaya pa ba niya na more than 2 million Filipinos are unemployed? Kaya pa ba niya na wala ng foreign direct investments no matter how many times he goes abroad and pretends that he can attract foreign investments? Kaya pa ba ng mga Pilipino? Kaya pa ba natin to? Ang gutom? Ang kawalang saklolo pag baha? Lindol? Kaya pa ba natin na absentee ang ating presidente at hindi natin mapapagkatiwalaan? Kaya pa ba ni Bongbong Marcos ang susunod na 3 taon ng mga problema ng bansa? Ang tanong sa atin, sa mga Pilipino, kaya pa ba natin tiisin ito? Kaya pa ba ni Bongbong Marcos ang next 3 years kung ganyan ang state ng mental state niya, tsaka state of health niya, at tsaka state ng kanyang paranoia, kaya pa ba niya in 3 years? What keeps him going, you think? No? Kung hindi talaga serve the people ang kanyang motto, what really keeps him going is self-gratification. Nakita mo naman yung taong lumaki sa Maragya, di ba? Wala nang kailangang magtrabaho or purpose in life, hindi ba? Kasi ang laki din naman ng pressure, no? Di ba? Tatay mo si Ferdinand Marcos, number 1 sa bar. Parang, di ba? Grabe naman pressure yun. Kaya ganyan yan si BBM. Ha?